All right, check, check, check. Hope you can hear me. Let me, Aaron Bevel here again. 2021 D-Town Harvest Fest in full effect. Coming up, I'm about to share live. Okay, DBCFSN, what we're calling DBCFSN Founders Reflections. Okay, and this is from Mama Abba. So Mama Abba came and talked to us about her experiences as the first beekeeper at D-Town. I was astonished to know that she wasn't a beekeeper. She learned how to be a beekeeper specifically for D-Town. So again, just a testament to the amazing things that the founders community did to bring this organization into being. Okay, cool. So I think we are live. Let me see. I've been checking to make sure everything is everything. There we go. Okay. Now let's make sure we have audio. So we have audio. Let's see. So okay. All right, we do have audio. I'm going to share my screen. Just a moment. Yes, this meeting is being live streamed. Don't forget to leave some stuff in the chat, okay? Because the chat is going to be available, and the live recordings that we're doing are going to be available afterwards. So please join the chat. If you're going to be in the thing, you got to like say hello or do something otherwise. Okay. All right. We're going to share our screen now, folks. And here is Mama Abba, one of the founding members of the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network. Hold on, I messed up. Need to, as all of us do, I think, we're still dealing with, it's like Zoom knowledge and etiquette. So I didn't share with sound. So now we should have sound. Hope you enjoy.
My name is Abba Ifeoma. I was a parent at Ifeoma Institute. We had a group of parents and staff called the Shamba Garden Collective, where we just kind of tilled each other's gardens. And that group really morphed into the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network. That was around 2003 or so when we started the Shamba Garden Collective, and by about 2006 we converted to DBCFSN. One of the definite milestones was obviously when we changed from only tilling each other's gardens and each other's yards and buying seeds collectively to when we branched out to embrace the larger community to answer that whole situation when the grocery stores closed. So that's a milestone. Our first garden over at the 4-H Club over on the east side, McClellan area, McClellan 94, I think it was. And so that was our first milestone. We had about a quarter of an acre there, and we had our first garden tour as part of a larger city tour of urban gardens and farms. So that was a milestone. Then when we actually got the license for the land for our current location, D-Town Farm, that was a milestone because we went from a very small, quarter acre to a full acre at that point. It was just 1 acre at that time. So that was a milestone. When we got up to 7 acres, that was a huge milestone. And of course, when we finally got bees. So we didn't have bees at D-Town Farm. I'm sorry, we had bees at D-Town. We didn't have bees at our first 2 locations.
Just
at
a
the 4-H
testament
Club
to
or
the amazing things that
Cascade and
the
Cowling,
founding,
which is our second location. So
so
we didn't have bees there. So we finally got the bees when we got to D-Town, and that's when I became a beekeeper. It started out with just me deciding, well, we needed a beekeeper. The call went out, and I said, okay, I can probably do that. And so over the winter, there were beekeeping classes. I enrolled in a beekeeping class, and I there was another brother there. We were the only two. We were the only two black folk. His name was Will Gardner, and we decided to team up and become the beekeepers at D-Town Farm. So he joined DBCFSN at that time, and we were the first two beekeepers. We installed our bees in 2009 in the spring with the help of another local beekeeper. Her name at the time was Rose Kurtz. She's married now. I don't know what her married name is, but Rose Kurtz. She was our bee kind of mentor at the time, and she helped us install our 2 packages of bees at D-Town. So it was about maybe about the late 90s when I took a trip down south, and we were at Beulah Land, which is a 1,700-acre farm owned by the Shrines of the Black Madonna. And while I was at their farm, I had an experience with, it was a wasp. And the wasp actually, I was just walking with someone else, and this wasp came and buzzed me right in front of my face. And I didn't have the urge to swat it away. Now, I don't know, I have no idea why, and neither did the person I was walking with. We just thought, oh, this is cute. He's kind of greeting us. Now I realize it was a threat, okay? But, I realized I wasn't afraid. And so years later, when there was a call put out for a beekeeper and nobody wanted to do it, I reflected back on that and thought, I bet I could do that. I could be a beekeeper. So that's where that came from. So at D-Town, we don't take all of their food. So whatever the bees produce, if there is enough honey in the spring, we will harvest. But at the end of the season, in the fall, like right now, all the honey stays on the hive. And whatever the bees, because that's their food, that's what they live off of. Now, we do supplement a little sugar if we think they have not produced enough, but we leave all the food for them. Then in the spring, when there's more nectar flow and they can go and get their own food, as an ethical beekeeper, we take the honey at that time. Not all beekeepers do that. That's their choice, but it seems like it's only fair. And what we experienced in the past is it really stresses the bees out in the fall when they know instinctively there's no more nectar, and then you try to take everything that they have and then feed them nothing but sugar water. And that's what a lot of beekeepers do. But we've decided that they need to keep everything that they have, and what's left in the spring, that's what we'll take.
I love that.
I've explored a whole different part of myself because I had no really thought of ever becoming a beekeeper, and it would have never come across my radar to do that had it not been for DBCFSN. And I would play around in the garden a little bit, but I wasn't any sort of serious gardener until DBCFSN. So I appreciate that so much, as well as composting. I had no idea how important rich soil is, clean, good soil is, until DBCFSN and Growing Power. Actually, it was at Growing Power when I learned really about a little bit really just touched on soil science and the importance of healthy plants and nutritious plants, plants that are more nutrient dense because of good soil. Growing Power was an organization out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin that DBCFSN partnered with in a program called ROTC, Regional Outreach Training Center. And we were part of that Regional Outreach Training Center where DBCFSN farm crew would go to Milwaukee for training in the winters, and we did that several winters. Myself and Kadiri Senefer, who was the compost manager at the time, we went in 2011, and we went for 5 months, 1 weekend a month, and to Wisconsin for training. And we actually got a little bit extra training because we were doing composting. So there was one weekend where we actually stayed until Monday so we could go to their major compost operation, which was actually part of the city of Milwaukee, where they had windrows of compost that was in various stages of readiness. And so we got to see how they actually used a tractor to make compost piles. We did it at DBCFSN with really smaller piles, but they actually had rows of compost where you needed a bobcat or a tractor to actually turn the rows. And so that was a really fantastic experience. And Kadiri got so good at it that when we started our major compost operation at D-Town, you couldn't smell the compost. He got so good at it. We would have farm tours, and I would have to point out during the farm tour, when I was doing the tour, that if you notice, we have a major compost operation, but you can't smell it because our compost master knows just how to mix the nitrogen and the carbon just so it wouldn't smell. And so yeah, that was just amazing. It was amazing. It was an amazing time at the farm when we were able to actually produce all of our own compost for the farm.
All right, let me stop sharing my screen. Thank you to Mama Abba talking about. I was so amazed again to learn that she was not a beekeeper, or would not have been a beekeeper, if it hadn't been for D-Town. And had heard another shout out there to Baba Kadiri, and his kind of like legendary connection and knowledge of compost and the compost piles at D-Town. And so really, it's been a great honor to hear these stories and to be sharing them all with you. There will be a few more recorded interviews that we'll share around, what time is it now? Around 3 o'clock. We'll talk to Baba Mombera and Baba K. Mensa, who were instrumental in beginning the Ujamaa Buying Club that eventually is now moving forward into the Detroit People's Food Co-op, which is going to be an astonishingly large and hopefully well-funded project of DBCFSN. Really, it's the Detroit People's Food Co-op and the Detroit Food Commons, which is the actual space. DBCFSN will have an office there, so that's really exciting. We'll hear from kind of that again, so that perspective of what was happening 15 years ago that has now brought a lot of this into fruition. And then we'll also hear from Mama Akua, who is the current board president of the Detroit People's Food Co-op. She will talk to us about the co-op and how DBCFSN and the organization really inspired her in terms of her work in grocery stores and with the co-op. So that's coming up again at around 3 o'clock. And I want to drop in the chat, and I will on the live video. If you're not a member of the Detroit People's Food Co-op, actually, what I can do instead, because I have a little time here, let's go to their website, and I will share my screen. Just give me a second. All right, so if you are not a member of the Detroit People's Food Co-op, please consider joining. It is, again, and this is DetroitPeoplesFoodCoop.com. All right, and you can become a member owner right here on the website. I'm a member owner. There are meetings once a month where you can, and again, so what is a co-op? Like, what is the co-op perspective? And, you know, the co-op brings together, you know, all the member owners who have a direct, you know, vote and a direct say in what is happening with the Detroit Food Commons and the Detroit People's Food Co-op. It is ours, right? Like, it is our locally Black-owned grocery store that we have input in making sure that it is sustaining us, that it is fulfilling us. Mama Akua talks a lot about kind of the culture and the vibe that she hopes the co-op will have, which sounds really exciting. So definitely, again, make sure to tune into that at 3 o'clock. You can join the mailing list here on the website. Tells you what meetings are coming up. And then I was looking for, I know there's something that talks about the pricing, right? Because you're kind of like, you know, how expensive is this? And it's really not that expensive. It's only $200. I know for me, I couldn't afford to do $200 all at one time. And so I paid, I think it was,
last night I
hold on.
on the ground.
Because we how much did I pay? I know it was 6 payments, right? So don't, again, I'm not here to do math, so don't judge me. But you know, so I was able to pay 6 payments that added up to $200, and then I was a full member. The member owner goal is 2,000. We're at 1,300 right now, so we still have I wouldn't say a long way to go, right? 69%. So where is, I just want to show you guys this really quick. Well, maybe let's just click on join, right? What's it going to do if we, and is it going to take, here we go. This is good, right? Be an owner, not just a consumer. Oppose extractive economic practices by circulating money in our community. Receive periodic member owner discounts. Hold on. And contribute to a cooperative economy, right? So you complete an application below. Okay, well, what they have now is a payment plan of 10 monthly installments of $20, right? So it's easy to join, and there are meetings so that you can be directly involved. See here are all the things that you can do. There are working committees, specifics, tasks, house parties. And that was, I mean, of course, that was pre-COVID, but I think there's a virtual house party program that's being developed at this time. Okay, and yeah, so good. So I'm glad we got a chance to do that. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Next up for the Harvest Fest, something that we always have is an African dance class. And so at 2 o'clock, we will be back with an African dance class with Mama Lauren and some of the young people in the community, an intergenerational African dance class, which I think is what makes it really, really exciting. So be sure to tune back in at 2 o'clock. And again, so 2 o'clock is African dance. Maybe I can share my screen and do that too. Let me show the schedule for the rest of the day. Again, give me a moment. Oh, it was on. Here we go. Okay. Is that it? No, that's not what I want. Give me a moment, everyone. I just want to show you the schedule for the rest of the day, which I think is on our Facebook page too. I'm not sure how you're joining us, if you're joining us on Facebook or on YouTube.
Mom.
Yes. So, oh, this is exciting. Well, can you come over here so everybody can see your outfit? Just in case you guys were interested in Luna's outfit. Come on, why don't you come over here? Ooh, you okay? All right, let me share my screen and show you the schedule for the rest of the day. Again, this is on our Facebook page. Oh, and here is Saluna. Hold on, you gotta like fix it so your eyes are coming out of the holes, right? Okay. Can you see If you can see, then it's accurate. All right, so here we're on the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network page. Okay, so we have a page and we have a group on Facebook. So make sure we've been streaming in both places, but just in case, oh, and Luna's showing you her cape, which says, I don't know what that says.
It says superhero.
One
It just got so
superhero
messed-
crew. It just got so messed up. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you. This is nice. Is this your food warrior outfit? Oh, thank you. So
I can
here's the-
fly.
Here's the schedule for the rest of the day, right? So we see 2 o'clock, we have African dance with Mama Lauren. I should have said intergenerational African dance, but anywho, so definitely check that out. So some young women from the community dancing and young men drumming. It's really inspiring. 3 o'clock, we will have some more founding member reflections about the Ujamaa Buying Club and how that has morphed and become what we know as the Detroit People's Food Co-op. That's at 3 o'clock, those interviews. And then at 4 o'clock, oops, hold on, we pushed the wrong button. Oop, here we go. Go back, there we go. 4 o'clock, more live, or 4 o'clock, not more, but that's when we'll be live. Okay, so we'll be live broadcasting from Zoom, just like I'm doing now. But there will also be other founding members of the organization, those who may not have been able to record a video, are going to join us and talk live, right, about their experiences with DBCFSN, their experiences over the past 15 years. Here, put that here, stop, put that down. Thank you. Thank you. We will be, yeah, so, and now I'll be running the chat. So, you know, in terms of if you have questions, if you have things that you want to ask people about, hold on, you're stuck on my necklace. That's going to be an exciting time at 4 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, we will be wrapping up with the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund, of which I am a co-founder. So very excited to announce our 40 farmers that we are supporting with the over $100,000 we were able to raise this year for Black farmers, right? So the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund is specifically targeting Black farmers in Detroit, many of whom we know are growing on land that perhaps they can't afford to buy, right? And so as we know, land security is connected to food security, even, DBCFSN's own journey, right? In terms of the 7-acre farm that we now have, right? That started out as a 1/4-acre garden plot, right? And there were a couple of times when, they were displaced, right? When the founding members who were working on DBCFSN were displaced. And so we, DBCFSN, Oakland Avenue Urban Farm, and Keep Growing Detroit, who are the 3 coalition organizations of the Black Farmer Land Fund. We know and we understand, some of the issues that come with land insecurity and how that impacts food security and food sovereignty. So the Detroit Black Farmer Land Fund was created to combat that, and we have been so honored and blessed to be able to do it in such a big way. There's been so much financial support. We'll talk about this a little more at 5 o'clock again, when we'll be announcing the 40 people that we are able to support with financially to purchase land and to build infrastructure on their existing farms and gardens. So please join us back here again at 2 o'clock. We will be live for African dance and coming up to some of the big exciting. I'm finishing. I'm almost done talking. Some of the big exciting things to round out our virtual 2021 D-Town Farm Harvest Fest. Thanks, everyone. Do you want to say anything else, Luna, before it's time to go?
I'm a nasty baby.
Okay, that's all. Thanks, everyone. See you back in 2.
Oh my gosh,
Hold
Mom.
on. Hold on. Peace.
Something very important. My